Today I'd like to talk to you about where our basic ideology and probably our principles are based on. And today what I want to tell you about is where our people come from. As Mohawk people, we have beliefs in our Creator, and we have legends that we believe in, and as a nation, these legends and these beliefs held us together over the past generations. And I'd like to start with a story about the creation and what we believe in, how our people came onto this earth. And how it began was there was another plane, another world where people lived, and a woman lived amongst some people up there, and she was in love with this person, a man, and then which was against the rules and the laws and regulations of their people in this other world. And what happened was the woman got pregnant from this man, which was, I guess you could say, it was a taboo in that respect. So what happened was this woman went, and she went on a journey in search of herself, and she came upon this great tree, or a great tree which bore fruit for the people who lived in this plain. And what happened was she went to grab one of the fruit to eat, and the ground gave way, and she fell through. Now, what happened, as she fell, she grabbed onto some roots of this tree to try and break her fall, but that didn't help her. But she had a handful of roots from this tree, and as she fell through the ground, she fell into an open sky. Now, as she was falling, she was hanging onto these roots, and she didn't know what was below her. So, as she was falling, a flock of birds came along, and they saw this woman falling from the sky. And they talked amongst themselves, and they looked at her, and they said to themselves that they had to save this creature that was falling from the skies. So, as what happened, the birds came together and broke her fall. So when she landed on the birds, she was like landing on clouds. So they brought her, and they were looking for a place for her to set her down. But in their world, below this other world, it was a vast ocean, vast waters. And so they didn't have a place to set her down. So they looked around, and they were flying around with the woman on their back. And just as they were going over the horizon, a great turtle came and rose from the depths of the oceans. And the birds had this woman, so they saw the turtle. They asked the turtle's permission to put this creature down on the turtle's back. So they put her down, and when she woke up, she was wondering where she was, and the birds were talking to her, and they told her that she had fallen from the sky and landed on the turtle's back. They set her down there. So giving thanks to the creatures that helped her, she now had to provide for herself. And so what happened was the muskrat came along, swimming in the oceans, and he came up to the turtle, and he asked if he could help. So she had these roots in her hand, and she had to plant these roots for the tree to bear fruit for her to live, to survive on. The beaver went and dove to the oceans, and she waited a long time, I think 3 days. And then finally the beaver came back, and he had some earth that he grabbed from the bottom of the ocean. So she took this earth from the beaver, and she placed the earth on the turtle's back. And then she used the roots that she grabbed from this great tree as she was falling from this other world, and she planted these roots into the earth. And from this grew all the plant and vegetable life that we see around us today. So what happened was all these animals and creatures came and helped this woman that fell from another world, and they provided all the materials that she needed to give her the substance to survive, which on the turtle's back. So when the native people, the Mohawk people, believe that the turtle represents the earth. Now, contemporary explanation, I actually don't believe I'm living on a turtle's back, but what I'm really telling you is, when our grandfathers told our children where we came from, okay, tried to describe to a person to say, well, the earth rose out of the water. So we use the explanation that, like a turtle, the earth rose out of the water and out of the depths of the oceans. So in respect to many other beliefs of different cultures, you can see the similarity between our story and your story. So at this time, she gave birth to an evil one, which he was born out of her side, and that's what killed her. And the Creator was born the normal way. And what happened was, this is how good and evil came onto the earth. So there was two forces on the earth, where the good and the bad, they were opposing each other, but it created a balance on the earth between good and evil. Okay, now what happened was the good one was the Creator. He went and used all the material around him and substances to create things and make things beautiful. And the bad one used everything for war. He turned mountains into on the dark side, and he made it look ugly at night. He took over the nighttime, where the Creator made all his creations during the day. So we believe that the Creator made the native people, and we come from him, and we are a descendant from these happenings. And so that's the legend of the creation, and that's what the Mohawk people believe in. Another thing I would like to talk about is how we use these beliefs, these legends, and how we put them into our work, and how we celebrate these legends in our everyday activities. We have ceremonies that we conduct certain times of the year, like non-native people. You have Christmases and New Year celebrations, or different holidays in that respect. You have the same sort of holidays. We have a midwinter festival. It's like a Thanksgiving festival where we give thanks for all the things that are provided to us. Now, talking about the things that are provided for us, getting back to the creation story, is the development of the basic substance which our native people survived on for many generations, and that was the corn and the bean and the squash. Now, these, we believe, are the three sister providers for the Mohawk and the Iroquois people. Now, these were developed, they're ancient, come from the beginning of time, and this is what our people lived on. Okay, well, what I was talking about in respect to the way our people lived and how we survived, and today, believe it or not, some people believe that we really live in teepees today, but we don't. We live in housing just like everyone else, and what we use to survive is our own labor, and we work for, we buy food, we shop around just like everyone else today. So people have a tendency to compare us, the Mohawk people, and they come to our reserve. They compare us to the Indians that they see on television in Hollywood. And actually, it's pretty funny because they come onto the reserve, into the middle of town, and they ask, like, for instance, me, if I'm standing there, where the Indians are. And I'm wondering, I'm looking around myself, I'm looking for Indians, you know. I say, oh yeah, I'm an Indian. But so what happens is people get the wrong idea of what native person is, or Mohawk is today. So on the reserve, we live, most of our men work in the United States, and we do ironwork and high steel. I was a welder myself for several years until I fell off of one job, and I had to come back. So what happened to me was I became an artist, and I've been painting these legends and the stories of our people on canvas, how we celebrate our culture in the design, in our clothes, and in our everyday activities. Thank you.